What's up, fellow traders? It's the Wolf. Welcome to the Wolf Den Trader Takeaways. So today, pretty epic day. We had massive strength on ASPA. We also traded ACST, CPAH, and finally taking some of that backside profit on MLNT. So Rebecca, roll executions. All right, here we go. We're looking at ASPA. Now this one, let's just roll to the Jumbotron and we'll figure this one out. Lickety split. So here we see coming down off of mid to high 30s. I mean, we know what time it is. Look at this nice decline. And then we see this right here. So we're looking at a 1 for 20 reverse split on February 22nd. Now that takes the float, or actually that takes the shares outstanding to under 2 million, and we're looking at a 1 million float. So this is a tiny micro float. This is going to have some range on it. But then look here too also at the volume. Now today we traded 16.1 million shares, and like I said yesterday, now that number is not super significant. What I want to know is what's the relative volume comparatively to the past 90 days. So look at the volume here. And now look at the average volume, or the volume prior. Now today we experienced 254 times normal volume compared to the last 90 days. So get an idea of what's going on. And the average range, the ATR 90 day is 35 cents. So this thing is basically just dying off slowly. It's a slow death, and then they reverse split, and now they're pumping in volume. Now, it's my opinion. These are just pure speculative opinions, but these guys timed this pump with Bitcoin. They got some hype into it. Everyone's thinking that this thing's going to the moon, $10, whatever, and they just basically pumped as much volume as they could into it to run their game, right? They're only putting as much volume as compared to as retail or whoever else is trading this, but this is all systematic. These are machines. We're trading against machines. Okay, that's just my opinion, but let's take a look. Now, I had a short bias from this all day. This is the strongest stock of the day. This thing is massively strong. You need to be a lunatic to short this all day long, and that's what I did. So I'm running my front side short strategy here. You can see. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. We did have quite a bit of executions on this. Today, we were 56.96% passive liquidity, which was a little bit higher than yesterday by 0.3%. All right, so here we go. Now I have let's hop over to Jumbotron real quick. So I have a thesis where I'm going to hop in. Now look at the volume profile. So here's the volume deposited in prior days. So we can see that I have a level here at $3. You can see that I have levels here at 320. Now look where the volume, let's zoom in, enhance. There we go. So now a lot of this is volume from today, but this level right here at $3 and 320 were significant for me to start an aggressive short on it. Now take a look at these levels. I'm not going to come back to it, but you can see the volume is basically between $4 and 320. And then up here around 450, we can see some wicks from previous days. All right, so with that in mind, I start to attack around $3 to 320. Now my first entry was off of a higher high. We come up, we basically just kind of double top. I enter. Now I'm playing conservative on this. This is an aggressive entry, but I'm playing a conservative front side execution strategy on it. So I do end up cutting, right? High day break, I cut. Now I'm watching the order flow. Now this is all in like milliseconds. I'm just watching this flow and I'm thinking, okay, that's what these guys are doing. They're going to run this game where they just go high a day and hit the stops and then flush, because that's what's been going on. VVPR, EDSA, I believe. Like that's what these guys are doing now. That's a new thing. Push high a day, eat the stops, flush. All right, so not today. Now, so I jump right back in after conviction, and then we flush down. Now, I take a quarter profit at VWAP, and we come back up. Now, that puts me in the money if I cut at high a day, but I think these guys are running game, right? So I put my next entries on top of the previous high, and now I get filled. Now we push up higher, And now I'm in a little bit of a dangerous situation. My average right now is about 368, but I'm feeling good because I'm recycling these shares. I'm in the money, and I think that around 385, we're approaching that $4 resistance. I think we're going to fade. Now we don't, and I get stopped out. That's fine. I re-enter again, and then I have a conviction ad before high a day. Now my stop is probably around 10 cents above high a day, but you can see how these guys are starting to manipulate the order flow, and they're just running these computer programs. If you guys pay attention to the order flow, you can get the personality and get dialed in. The faster you can get dialed in on these machine traders, the better off we are. We're at a disadvantage already, so let's take all the information that we have and let's use it to our advantage and try to get dialed in. Now, shorting this the entire day is not how you get dialed in. I'm working a front side strategy and I'm trying to perfect that, but just let me also say, now I have a max daily loss on this, and at any point, if I triggered my max daily loss, I hit the kill switch, game over. Now, I'm up and down taking profit, in the red, in the green slightly. I'm never big red though. I'm small green and I'm small red, fighting the front, waiting for that backside. Now, this trade overall, I ended up taking profit. Now, how many people are shorting XSPA today all day long on the short side, taking profit after commissions? Now, I'm taking pride in this because this is my front side core strategy. No one's running this. Guys are DMing me, telling me that this is ridiculous, you're crazy, you're going to be out of the game. Well, we're strengthening this strategy every day, and I'm just running this setup to you guys because this is my journey. And this is what it is. We're going to eventually develop a long strategy, which we would have killed it today. But right now, I am a short seller. And if I can pick one strategy to be the strongest on, I want to be the strongest shorting the front side because I want to protect myself to catch the back. The longer you can stay in short on the front side, right, the farther along the day we go, weaker shorts are getting kicked out. Weaker shorts are getting annihilated. They're stopping out. They're giving up. And a lot of the times, if you've ever got stopped out or hit your max daily loss before you reach that backside money, it's just, that's what happens. So I was fortunate enough to stay in this trade all day. Now, I had some theses that they were going to close strong and predict this to look like it was going to go to the moon and then stomp on all these long swings. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. Today was just one of those days where if you really watch the order flow, you know what these guys are doing, and they're just stomping on retail. That's in my opinion. Okay, so we're back up here. I stop out. I'm in the red now. Now we're slightly red. Okay, and I get back in. I'm risking high a day. So I get back in, risking high a day. We're top taking entries, taking profit. Now look at this strategy compared to this strategy. Now this is a higher high, running the same setup. Now this is a higher high, running the same setup. Now that's all we're going to get. We're either going to get a higher high or we're going to get a lower high. That's it. What else can you get, right? So we have two setups. I'm trying to simplify this for myself, and it's either going to be a higher high setup or a lower high setup. To me, that's all there is, front side or backside strategy. Okay, now with that said, here we go. We're coming down. I'm taking profit at VWAP. Now look at this right here. They're not giving shorts an opportunity to get in at all. Now I take notice of this 45-degree channel down. These are chase ads. Now I had ads out at 378, 380, 385. They're not letting me catch. And now we come down under VWAP. I have ads up here trying to go off of maybe like a 375. They're not giving me nothing. Now, that lets me know that they're going to continue to go down, and they're taking this down, and they don't want to take shorts with it. They're trying to stop out longs without shorts getting in, if that makes sense. And that's what causes me to chase an entry at VWAP with that conviction and the conviction off the order flow to take profit down here at 320. Now, I almost took the entire position off here, but I knew that we were going to have another attempt at VWAP. And when we came up to VWAP, I added back a majority of the the profit I took from here and then some. So now I'm on a backside core strategy. And this is the only time from here, these 3 or 4 executions right here were the only transition into my backside core strategy on the day. Okay, but then I notice just from the reaction off VWAP, I understand that we are probably going to go back up long. I'm watching the soaking, and there's not that much soaking on the offer. It more so looks like soaking on the bid, and it looks like we're trying to hide strength. Now, when I see strength being hidden on the tape, that lets me know it's time to go long. So I scalp the ad. Now I'm not in a backside core strategy anymore. I'm switched over to frontside core strategy, and I take off the position. Now, this is a major trader error right here. These are all my ads from over here. Now, they got me good. This was a major squeeze. And like I said, I had ads here and here. And then once we came down over here, I had ads here, here, and here. And boom, we hit. Bam, 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 bam. Now, this was an awakening, I guess you could say. Now, we come up to 433, and they just throw a massive liquidity on the bid. Now they're just bid soaking, and they're waiting for this thing to halt. We've seen the same play. They ran this game on MLNT. They ran this on BVPR, I believe. There's 3 or 4 names last week, all back to back to back halts. It's the same computer. I think it is, but it's the same firm, I believe. So I have to trim here. Now I'm underwater. I had all my averages on a different chart, but I lost them. But every push here, I kept track of my average, and I wanted to share that with you guys, but I had to reopen DAS and to get these charts configured properly and located. But next time I'll make sure. But every single push here, I have my averages. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and pull that up because that's important. Give me 1 second, guys. I apologize for this. Actually, let's just go ahead and do that another time. Sorry about that. I just really wanted to show you how these averages are working for me. Now, what I wanted to show you was that depending on how many shares I carry up, right? So here we go. I had to trim. My ad here was, I believe, 500 shares. Yeah. So I had to cut that on this right here. This was like a 750 trim. I had to take this off, and then I basically pulled. This was a wash cut, but I pulled about 1/4 of the liquidity from here and stopped it out. Now that's a wide stop, but I don't want to push again and hit my daily max loss. If I hit my daily max loss, I'm out of the game. I'm done for the day. And I still am at the thesis that we're going to get downside potential. So I want to protect myself and stay in the trade. I want to stay in this entire front side. I want to stay in every front side and not hit my max loss and catch the back. That's what it's all about. We want to catch the backside and get that money. Okay, so taking profit. Now, like I said, I trimmed 1/4 of this liquidity, and now I'm taking profit. My average was brought up, but my average this is cut. So my average right now is about 378, 390. So I'm taking profit under my average, trying to make up for this cut right here. Now this right here, this is its own trade on its own. This was a negative transaction. Okay. Now this was nice. This was the largest profit right here. This one was bad, and that's because I left my orders out. That is disgusting mistake that will be addressed, but hey, we're learning as we go. We're getting better every single day, but this is big time mistake. Okay, this cost us some money. Okay, so now we're pushing back up. Same strategy. I'm not going to get stopped out. Look, here's high a day right here, 459. What do? They wick it and then they flush. So I'm on it now. I know at least enough to know that stops have to be wider. Now, when stops get wider, share sizes get reduced, right? Because we want to maintain the same amount of risk, right? We don't we delegate our share size based off of risk, and the risk is based off account size. Now, if you want to bet, or if you want to play 1, 2, or 3%, maybe 4% max, depending on your account size per trade, then that's all calculated before the trade happens. And then once we calculate risk, we can calculate targets. Now, we can discuss that further, in another day, but this is systematic. There's a lot that goes into developing an execution strategy. So here we go. I'm adding into confirmation here. Now, I leaned into strength, but I saw confirmation from the amount of passive liquidity overhead. I think I saw sellers coming down. Either way, I stepped in, leaned into some strength, and was not confident that this was going to be a nice flush, so I took it off. Now, again, I'm trimming the position 3/4 or a half. I really wish I had these averages up here for you guys, man. I'm keeping track of these averages every push. And that lets me know at a glance how much shares am I carrying. If I'm carrying 1/4 of these shares up and over, my average is going to suffer. And I can know where I'm at based off of just looking at this average, this average, this average, this average. So that's just a little tip. I don't know how many people are doing that. The pros are doing it, baby. All right, so here we go again. Trying to top tick my entries and just taking profit. Now I'm in a little bit of a rhythm right here. This was a stop out. That's what it was. I had 1/4 of the position, or maybe even a half. I'm not sure, but this is a cut. This is a full cut right here. And then I re-enter. Look how I'm getting right back in here. I mean, that's a little early for sure, but we're working the order flow. We're trying to get that rhythm. Now, we're shorting strength. Look how strong this thing is. This is some massive strength. We're holding our own. We're taking profit. Again, a cut entry, averaging up into exhaustion, taking profit. Now, my average here is 490, 492. I start trimming 470. Now I'm trimming 440s. Okay. Now I can tell just by looking at this that I took some decent profit here because I'm sizing in a little bit early. And I'm doing the same thing. Feeler ads, conviction ads, I guess you could call them, right? And then I'm putting sets of 2s and 3s. That looks like it was a partial right here. So I got 2 orders out per ad. Same thing. And then there's the ads, but I'm waiting for exhaustion. And then again, taking profit. Now I had this order sitting out based on short-term technicals right here. This was 442. I trimmed 1/8. I remember that. Then we come back up, and again, adding back. I added more than 1/8 back right here. Now I remember at this point, some other rooms that I'm in, people had a long thesis on this. This was the time when the general retail sentiment that I saw was long. I mean, there are guys talking about this thing's going to $10. One guy was putting his space suit on. This thing's going to the moon, so they say. But I had a 1/8 trim, and I added at least 1/4 back. So that's a double recycle. I'm going heavier on the sell side, and this was the biggest little chunk of change I took. This is what kept me in the green on this whole front side move. Now I'm taking profit all the way down. I had the larger of the targets down at 427 and down here at 416. This is the majority of all of this liquidity. The majority is right here. Now, if I had to put an average at it, I would say out of all of these covers, I probably had a 440 average exit. Excuse me. All right, so at this point, I have more targets out. I'm still carrying a little bit of a position, and I have targets sub $4. I know I had targets down here at 360 and below. But now, the best advice I can give you on on order flow like this is wherever you would normally add, right? This would be a normal add in the 455 region. Cancel that and go 1 or 2 levels up. So if you're going to normally add underneath resistance here at 455, maybe go to the next one, which would be 491, or even the second level up, which would be at $5. That's what type of game they're running. They're running not massive volume, but they're running this game on top of a low float, which gives them a lot of latitude with small funded accounts. Now, these guys don't need $50 million to run this game. These guys are running this game, and again, this is speculative, but these guys can run this whole show on 3, 4, 5 million bucks. I mean, these are great opportunities for these banks and these institutions. I mean, these guys they're making money. You can't blame them for doing that. But it's our job to distinguish what they're doing through the order flow and the volume and get on their side, right? I want to follow the guys with the money. So here I am giving them a little bit more of my money right here with this entry really early. But I do know before we even get up here, I set these orders out based off of this. What's high of day? 505. Where's everyone's stops going to be? Everyone's stops going to be at 506 to 510, 520, 530, right? So these are triggering short stops or longs taking profit at high of day. So that's why I put these ads up. Now, again, still early. These guys are still surprising me. But we had a nice average. Now, I remember this average was a 499.625 average. So I'm working a $5 average at this point, and I'm carried some of these shares from here up, right? So that's basically, I wish I had these averages. I really do, guys. But, I remember this one was $5. And I got greedy right here. This is the final flush of the day. And I had an order out at 471, and I did not get picked up off this candle. I wish I did. I didn't get picked up. That pissed me off. Right when we got around here, I remember dropping my order down to like 62. Now, I was catching 62s a good amount of the day. I remember running 62s was a nice spot. It was one of my lines. And then right here, I trimmed at average, like a couple of cents above my average. I trimmed the position, not wanting this thing to go away. I'm in the green. I'm not going to let this thing go up higher and then close high and then me have to fight this in the after hours. That's the last thing I want to do. So I trimmed the position. Probably would have cut somewhere around here. Just watching the order flow. When it gets this close to the bell, I mean, when we're at 550, we got the last 10 minutes. Now I'm watching to see if the market makers are going to jump in. Where the market makers put in their liquidity? Are they heavy on the buy side or the sell side? Are they involved in the push? Now there's a good amount of information that you can catch if you know what routes these market makers are using. TOS has a lot of ECNs available to look at and to track that type of information. Now there's way better programs out there than that, but I just know that TOS has a decent amount of ECNs, so that's what I use. Okay, and then off of my 499 final average, I'm taking profit at 489, taking profit at 476, and I leave a tiny little bit on, and this was super spready right here. I did manage to get out at 460. I mean, the bid was down at 430, fighting for price in the after hour spread to exit this trade for profit. Now, last time we had strength like this was MLNT day 1, and it was a big red day, and I said this is a mistake, learn from this mistake. Now I continue to short strength on XSPA for profit. Now this is just strengthening my front side core strategy. I'm going to continue to strengthen this strategy. That way I can stay in the game and make the backside. Okay, that was a long recap on that. Sorry guys, I'm just wanted to get that information out there. Let's pull up MLNT. So MLNT, I have an average from 570, 580. Remember day 1 we took a big red day. I did enter here yesterday, like around 650, and then the day before this, I remember scalping, making some scalps down here and entering here. But I do have an average of 570s, and I started to finally take profit here at 565. Now I still have orders out all the way down until like 4 something, but we might get a pop tomorrow to shake out some shorts, and then my prediction is downside continuation. Let's pull up ACST. Okay, ACST. Now this one, I'm trying to remember. Don't have a lot of information on this. I know the range was not that great. One of the guys in the room spotted an ATM. He wasn't 100% sure, but he said that there was possible overhead supply on this. And I remember this thing, I had a starter, and when my starter filled and we flushed down, my first reaction was, this is support right here. This is too much. This is strength. So what I did was I wasn't paying attention to this, but I did watch this push right here, and I watched the tape around 125, and I figured that we were going to get a flush. So I added 4 times my starter size at 129, bringing my average up to around 127, hoping for a first flush to exit for profit. This is kind of like my breakaway strategy, where it's just a heavy average up into a first flush. Now you have to time this close to the flush, and I predicted this off of a short-term technical right here at 131, but I got in early, just wanting to get that average up. I would have cut before high a day on this. First flush, I remember this thing was slow, but whatever, 2-3 cents, we kind of sat right here. Now we're sitting in a flush, and I kept my target right here off of this short-term technicals, and I was done with this. Not enough range. We want better than that. CPAH. CPAH. Now, this thing was another... Excuse me, sorry about that. I think this was another minimal pre-market volume. This thing just started pumping. Yeah, it did. So when this thing started pumping, right, the first thing I want to do, I caught this on radar at about 215, 220. The first thing I do is I pop over to the daily. Now, over to the Jumbotron, CPAH. CPAH on the daily. We're in a downtrend, and this thing likes to give back its gains. So I'm seeing some wicks. Like I said, I saw this around 215. Now I marked these levels. I was most interested in this consolidation area right here. Let's zoom in. Now look at this gap. There's a gap between 270 and 309. Now this is called volume clearance. So here's an LVN and an LVN, a low volume node, and then look at this gap right here. We're into volume clearance. Now this is an unfair market value price, so if price does re-enter into this zone, it's not going to stay there long in theory. So I was not going to play this trade up into the 270s. My thesis was a sub 260, 250 play, and that's where I want to hit it. If it did pop 270, I'm out. That's my quick analysis, and I can do that on the fly like I just did. So now we're getting some decent strength in here. The volume is, I mean, it's pretty decent. Now, if we look at the average true range, okay, on average, the last 90 days, this thing's moving 20 cents a day. So now we're in a 70 cent push. Now that's extended to me. I'm thinking, okay, that's enough of a push where we can expect a legitimate retracement. Okay, so with all the information that I just noted, that's all the information I need to come up with a short thesis. And now I need a technical confirmation, and I need an order flow trigger. So putting orders out, now waiting for this wick. I'm not touching this until we come down. Now I'm watching the order flow after I have something to risk off of now, right? Now we have a high of 249, which gives me a 250 thesis. And there's other shorts on board thinking the same thing. So I enter a little early down here after confirmation, and then we pop back up. Now before we pop back up, I already have an order out at 248, 248, looking to get grabbed, and my thesis is 250, so I should cut at like 252, 253, right? So then we wick up and we start to watch around. I'm giving this a second. I don't like it. I cut. I remember I had the hard stop was not out in front of me on this one, but I did execute the hard stop relatively fast, glued to the tape. Okay, so this is a hard cut, and then immediate confirmation off of this 260 rejection. Now, once we had this rejection this hard, the tape was red. It was speeding up. Now, as much information as you can get on the front, I don't know the float. I don't know the institutional ownership. I don't know the insider ownership, but I can get that information off of the volume coming up. Now, there's a lot more information you can get off of this, right? So traders want to know the float so that they can gauge the speed of the tape to the range. Now, if you're an order flow trader, you just get that off of the order flow, right? So if I watch the tape, and there has to be volume in on the play. So it can't just be like moping around. Now, if there's volume if we're hitting 100, 200, 300K candles, and I'm watching the order flow, I should be able to tell you the float off the order flow in 2 or 3 minutes, if that makes sense, right? All the information that we need is on the level 2, and it's on the tape. Those are the only leading indicators on my screen, right? Like I said, we want to know what's going on. We're driving this vehicle. We're looking at the front windshield. We're not looking in the rear view mirror, okay? And that's just how I trade. I don't know what else to say. That's my style. I want to be the best trader I can be. I need the information in front of me, not behind me. With that said, I re-entered right here at 248. Now I set this target off of VWAP. I don't remember how much I took off, probably a quarter in case we pushed, but we did not. And I'm watching this. After I trim, I have a short thesis. So after I trim, I want to add it back, right? Because I know this thing has more downside potential. And now I'm already in the green. Now I did take a cut, so maybe it's a wash trade at this point. But once we get in the green, that gives us leverage to add and to be more in control, right? We can be, the more profit we take early on, the more options we have, if that makes sense. So I'm watching this order flow. I want to see, even though I'm 3/4 sized in, I want to see strength because I want to add, I want to size in. That doesn't happen, which lets me know that shorts are up here. There's liquidity up here. Let's look at these wicks. Okay, these are the shorts finally jumping in my opinion. Now these are longs holding this up, and the smart longs got out, and I don't know for sure, I don't remember, but more than likely longs are getting out and shorts are starting to attack the bid, and then we get a monster flush. Now, I don't remember if I went guns hot and marketed out on this, but I did bottom ticket, and now I'm setting targets. So targets are set, right? Targets stay in front of the tape. So short-term technicals, I put a target out at 196, and then I put a target just above the red to green line. Beautiful, beautiful trade. Amazing. And that's it, guys. Let's just hop over to the room. This is 33 minutes. I apologize for the lengthy recap, but I'm not going to shorthand this information. If you guys want me to make them shorter, just leave a comment, and whatever you guys want. This is for you guys, not for me. So here in the Discord room, I just wanted to show you guys some fundamental analysis videos we have in the new Wolf coaching room. So here's all the recaps that I make, additional fundamental analysis videos, and we're starting to build, maybe we have about 10 or 15 hours of Wolf coaching content that is available for free. Just give us a join. We love to see what you guys are trading. We want to know if you have similar strategies, what's been working for you guys, what names are you trading, and ultimately we're just looking to get better as a community, right? We grow as traders. We want to get 1% better every single day, compounding our skill set and making our dreams come true. All right, guys, thanks so much. This is the Wolf. It was literally a pleasure to do this recap with you guys today. Be safe and have a great evening.